So I'm 61 and I've been retired at the end of the year. It'll be 7 years. What do I still fear? And what do I not fear? I've got five of each, I think. When I first retired, back in 2019, beginning of 19, my biggest fear was running out of money. That's most people's. 7 years later, I really don't have that on my radar. And I don't mean to say that to be boasting, but rather life changes. You get comfortable in retirement and retirement planning. Before you retire, you're stressing everything because you're not living through it. Now I got almost 7 years of monthly payments, monthly bills, go spending, and I've gotten into a really good routine. I've also got in my bucket two money, which is my growth engine, 12% compounded annual growth rate. So that's grown great. And my bucket one, as you know, is at 10 years of out of the equity. So I'm just set up really well and I'm comfortable because I've done it for 7 years already. That's what I mean. Now there's still fears out there. I'm going to go through those, but fear changes. I think worrying about the unknown is part of what makes me up. But once I get some experience, those fears turn into just, hey, here's a system, here's a process, let's go with that. Not that these keep me up all night or anything like that, but I thought I would answer the question, what do I worry about now, 7 years into retirement? So, part one, 5 things I don't worry about to the level. Let's make them a 2 on a 1 to 10 scale. Number one is running out of money. I already mentioned that. I've got my bucket one, my bucket two money. I really feel pretty comfortable where I'm at. My spending is well below 4%. This year I'm pushing it though. This year I'm pushing it with as you can see, I'm doing a remodel here. I've talked about that before, doing all the floors in the house. I'm getting some new trees outside. Go spending, and I had 2 kids get married this year, so I'm pushing the spending button pretty hard. Number 2 thing I don't worry about is normal bear markets, what I'm calling normal. If we have something that lasts 15, 20 years, I'll start stressing that. But a normal bear market where the market goes down for 2, 3, 4 years and then takes 2, 3, 4 years. These may be a little extreme, not normal, but 2, 3, 4 years to recover. So, the whole cycle of down and back up is under 5, 6, 7 years. I'm prepared for that. So it's not going to trigger panic. I didn't panic in 2022, didn't panic in 2020. And that helps. It helps me with the confidence to spend money, even if the market's down 20%. I don't want to waste that go-go year. That my age is 61 now. I don't want to waste that healthy year because I'm fearful of the market. That's a big deal. Number 3, missing out financially is what I have. Chasing the big investment and, buying Bitcoin. I missed out on buying gold with a 60% return. Missed out on Nvidia. I just smile and wave at those. I don't own any individual stocks. I've been tempted to, I'd say maybe 3 or 4 years ago, but still don't. I believe in safety with growth. So I have my growth engine in bucket 2, and I got a lot of safety in bucket 1, all in many funds, no individual stocks is what I mean. So FOMO, no FOMO on returns. Number 4, what others think. This was a big deal in my career. Image meant a lot. I was an engineer. I was a manager. I was a plant manager, and how I conducted myself, what I said, risks that I took, things I invested in, all those things were on the wall of my performance. Like when I say on the wall, years ago, we used to put report cards on the wall, right? Grades, puts your test on the wall. So everybody can evaluate you. But, in retirement, you just get a lot more comfortable in your own skin and just being Joe and being unique. And, um, you know, not caring what others think. I love it. I love it. Number 5 is career identity. Title, before I retired, titles, who I was. Maybe you check out my video called I'm Irrelevant when I went to a high school and gave a talk, and it's like, oh my gosh, these people don't care at all about my career and what things I've accomplished as I was there on a career day. I'm not competing against anybody. So it's a unique place to be. I'm just Joe. And I love that. So I'm not worried about who people think I am career wise, what others think of the actions I take, missing out on, great stock deals, normal bear markets, and running out of money. So let's jump on to 5 things I still take seriously. Well, right before we do that, like I said, I've been retired 7 years. Why do I make these videos? People ask me these questions all the time. That's really why I started a YouTube channel. Is I get asked questions, about my retirement. Previously, it was on reliability and maintenance, but I get asked all these questions. I say, hey, why don't I share my experience as I'm going through it with other people to maybe relieve a little stress, help people retire maybe just a little bit earlier than they thought was possible, and having an epic retirement. That's why I make these videos, not to be prescriptive for you, but to just share my experience, and maybe you'll have that confidence. Because it is a big deal jumping into retirement. It's really, financially, it's a stupid thing to do, to retire. Dumbest financial decision I ever made was retiring. Okay, so 5 things I still take seriously and focus on. 1 is health span, not lifespan, health span. Living long doesn't matter as much as living long healthy, where I can do what I want to do. My mind's there. I can walk, I can climb, I can travel, I can have a conversation with friends and spouse and family, get together on Christmas, all those kind of things. Health span means a lot to me. And so I'm working on that. Sleeping right, exercising. I need to do better on eating right. I've slipped, but I'm back on the wagon here. Eating 1 ingredient foods, very low carb diet, but eating 1 ingredient foods is kind of the primary thing, and not eating after like 6 p.m. at all. No snacks, no extra meals. That's my challenge every day. Number 2 concern is the health of my spouse. As you know, we're a team here, and if one spouse has a health incident, it affects the other spouse. I think that's obvious. We want to share our lives together and laugh, and our family, and have gratitude every day. So health of my spouse is a big deal. Number 3, cognitive decline of myself or my spouse. Okay. The fear of just losing that independence and being a burden on others. I never liked that. I've prided myself of helping others, and having that turned on me is difficult. Maybe that's why I'm a DIYer on the majority of things, but losing independence and having somebody have to take care of me because of my mind, that concerns me. That could be. These are all important now that I'm looking at them. Number 4, and this is going to be, a little challenging for some folks to hear, but it's for me, and I'm trying to be real. It's courage in my faith. I'll be honest, it's inspired by, the voices of Charlie Kirk, and, what happened to him, and that just challenged me a lot to look at what I was doing to share my faith, not in a pushing, shoving way, but to play it out in my life for myself. And maybe that may that could inspire somebody else, but I don't want to do that in an aggressive way at all, but to be courageous in it. I do study every day. Um, so retirement brings more time for reflection and responsibility, and um, my values mean a lot to me. And so courage in that, I think, is what I put number 4. And number 5 thing I worry about, and it's just, I'm a dad. Is my kids. Now, they are all married as of just this last weekend. They're all married. They got fabulous spouses. Don't tell them that, but they got fabulous spouses. Um, I adore each one of them. They're all unique and they all bring something special to the family. But you can't help but worry about their faith, their health, their happiness, their families, their decisions, their careers as they go on. I don't worry about it every day, but it's something that I don't know the future, and I want them just to have just this epic life. Not about money, has really nothing to do with money, but faith, health, and happiness is, and gratitude and love. Those are the things I'm looking for in my kids if I could wave a magic wand. So in summary, hey, 7 years retired. Maybe I'm giving you a glimpse of 7 years after you retired, all these fears that you have right when you walk out the door of your 9 to 5 job, probably 7 to 5 job. Right before you walk out the door, you have these fears. And then through repetition and process and understanding, those fears morph into something else. So if this helped in any way, let me know. Give me a comment. If I missed something that you worry about or want me to make a video on a topic, give me a comment. I read most of those. I gotta say, it's tough to keep up with the comments, but I read most of them. There's gold in there. There's gold. There's people that disagree with me, have more examples. You need to be reading the comments if you're thinking about retiring. My videos stimulate a lot of positive and challenging text where people say, "Hey, you're wrong on this." Hey, I can get into that. That's okay. I'm just sharing my experience, my thoughts, hopefully to help you out. Make sense? Let's show out.